Oye caro. Káwọn mẹ́ta nígbà òye òye kájọ lè fẹ́ nìyà nítorí ọ̀la Olúwa ó tán àtẹ́lẹwọ́ ní.
Káàbọ̀ bàbá.
Kí wọ́n má pè tán kí wọ́n tẹ́tí gbọ́n. Ọmọ Ṣàngó lónìí ìkùn kó. Èwo lẹ́rù ojú fi ṣe àwa nù.
Ìyàbọ̀.
Bọ́jọ́ wò. Láti tún lè gungun. Àwa lòrò. Láti tún lè gun. Kẹ́ máa pè tán pàmò àṣàrà. Lole gun ìṣàrà ìlógún làwọn ìlọsí.
Black people, come back home. Come back to the South. The only reason that your ancestors went in such large numbers to the places that they went to up north in the first place and out west in the first place is because they were run out. And they were run out because they were building and educating their communities at levels that poor white communities were not able to do because they're actually incapable. And that's why they used violence. They ran them out because they terrorized them. They didn't want to leave the South. So now we are living in this very heightened political time. Come back home. I'm telling you, you want to open a business, it's cheaper to do in the South. It's easier to find commercial space. It's so much land in the South. The land in the South is viable. You can grow anywhere here. You can grow anything here. You can't grow anything in Chicago because you have to worry about the long winters. You can't grow anything in New York because you have to worry about the long winters and it's a concrete jungle. They call Chicago Chirac. Why do y'all want to live there? I'm not hating on your hometown. I'm not. Logically think about this. If you really care about building and putting something back into the black community, even if it's just your own black family, it is cheaper to do it in the South. Real estate is cheaper in the South. Everything is cheaper down here because there's so much land. You can't grow nothing in Arizona, in LA. I tried because I lived in both places. It's too fucking dry. You can't grow everything there unless you're a master botanist. You don't have to know shit about growing shit to grow something in Georgia. You put the seed in the ground, it's gonna grow. I'm telling you, our ancestors did what they had to do, but come back south. If we came back south in massive numbers when the South is already dominated by black Americans, we already concentrate so much of the South, Florida, Georgia, Alabama. If we came to just them 3 states and we started building something of our own, they don't have the same terrorist capacity that they had before. Because I promise you, they come up on this land, I got fired for their ass. That's why I said we going to the range. But we can't do some of the shit we want to do online because we don't own online. They do. So if you think you can still stay over in LA and still pour into the black community or just pour locally into your community there, and some people will get offended by this because we've created histories, right, within these communities since the Great Migration that we don't want to leave behind. But those same histories that we want to preserve are just being gentrified. And I can tell you one thing, they're gentrifying Compton, they're gentrifying Harlem, they can't gentrify Atlanta. They've tried. Niggas is still in Atlanta. We still run in Atlanta. Why? Because there's so many of us here that no matter how many white people come in or big businesses come in and build shit, they're not getting rid of us. They're not getting rid of our culture, right? Because it's just in the blood of the South. It is just in the roots of the South. So I know this video probably ain't gonna go nowhere, especially considering that conservative organizations own TikTok. But if you blow up any other video, blow this up and take it seriously, okay? Come back south. You have beautiful weather most of the year long. You got to worry about cold, harsh winters. It's plenty of land. You can grow any motherfucking thing. And there's power in numbers. If we want to organize, we have to be together. Being spread out is going to be a detriment to us, I promise you. Because we can't do this shit online. Everything we try to do to organize for black people is going to get shut down, I promise you. But if we're all concentrated in the same area where we can drive to meetings and do shit the grassroots way, they can't stop us. Come home. Come back to the South.
Honor and respect, honor and respect, honor and respect. Divine all blessed greetings and salutations. It is another edition of Revolutionary Hoodoo, New Orleans Voodoo Secrets and Recipes. Voodoo Hoodoo 101. Brought to you by, powered, promoted, sponsored, supported, produced by NOIVD, New Orleans International Voodoo Day, our third annual New Orleans International Voodoo Day. And it is with full hearts and deep reverence we are honored to share the next evolution of this sacred gathering. New Orleans National Voodoo Day is now New Orleans International Voodoo Day in its third year, and this shift in name reflects the truth we have always carried, that voodoo is both deeply local and profoundly global, rooted in the rich soil of New Orleans and held in the hands of our community. Our work continues to center the vibrant traditions, practitioners, and spiritual leaders right here at home. At the same time, we move forward with deep gratitude for the international ties that made Vodou in New Orleans possible. We walk in the footsteps of those who carry these sacred traditions across oceans, guided by the ancestors and shaped by generations of resistance, resilience, and ritual. This change is not a departure, it is a deepening, a fuller reflection of who we are and who we are becoming. We will continue to honor the local New Orleans Vodou community as the heart of this event, while strengthening the sacred connections that stretch from Haiti to the Congo to Benin and beyond. We continue to invite your participation, your support, your volunteership, your donations, and certainly your sponsorship. Visit us at www.voodooday.org. Explore our various tiers for sponsorship, as well as contact us and find out ways in which you can participate and volunteer in this powerful and continuing to grow and expand event. We also are grateful for your continued support and participation in our live chat. We're so always thankful for those who show up. Lydia Martin, we certainly appreciate you. Peace and love. Our faithful community member, Daniel Neal, we certainly do appreciate you. Love 1901, thank you for being a faithful, committed listener. And we are certainly grateful for our co-hosts and panelists, the Queen Mother, Sister Toni Val Martinez, Sister community activist, community mother, community agitator, I like to say, and educator. First priest, our Black Hawk Voodoo Wild Man, initiated member of House of the Divine Prince, as well as La Source HN4, Brother Joshua Nylan Tanner. Second priest, Tyson Allen Horn, also initiated member of My House, Hoodoo Central LLC, as well as the temple at the Ancient on 4. And we certainly appreciate our Queen Mother, Sister Bianca Johnson Plessy, another initiated member of our house and committed team member of NOIVD. And thank you all for your continued support and participation. I will bring you forward momentarily after we introduce our subject matter for tonight. And it was really encouraged, motivated by the conversation that we had on the previous evening last night. Learning, teaching, preserving ATR, Aboriginal African traditional religious practices and systems in a technological age. And when we speak about learning and teaching African traditional religions in the 21st century, We are not simply talking about passing down information. We are talking about safeguarding entire worlds. We're talking about protecting the breath of our ancestors and the memory of our nations, the dignity of the spirits who have carried us across oceans, across centuries, across every attempt to silence us. And yet we are doing this work in a time when information is instant, context is optional, and entitlement is often louder than humility. We are doing this work in a world where a person can type a question into a search bar and believe they have earned the right to speak on traditions that took generations to cultivate. We are doing this work in a world where AI, algorithms, and social media can amplify voices that have never set foot or sat at the foot of an altar, never poured a libation, never asked permission, and have never learned the first language of our traditions, which is respect. So today I want to speak about what it means to learn, to teach, and to preserve ATR practices in a modern Western context, one where technology is powerful, but protocol is still sacred, where information is abundant, but wisdom is still earned, where curiosity is welcomed, but entitlement is not. Because the truth is, African traditional religions have survived far worse than Google. They have survived enslavement, colonization, forced conversation, and cultural erasure. They have survived the theft of our names, our languages, our lands, and our bodies. They have survived the Middle Passage. They have survived the plantation. They have survived the museum, the missionary, and the anthropologist. And they will survive the internet, but only if we continue to teach them with integrity. Learning ATR, Aboriginal African traditional traditions, is not a scavenger hunt. It is not a collection of aesthetic choices. It is not a playlist of deities or a mood board of altars. Learning ATR, Voodoo, Santeria, Lokomi, Nago, Isheshe, Ifa, Akan, etc., is an apprenticeship of the spirit. It is a relationship. It is a responsibility. And it is a commitment to the humility, discipline, and community called for these traditions. And teaching ATR is not performance. It is not content creation. It is not a brand. Teaching ATR is stewardship. It is guardianship. It is the act of holding a door open while making sure the floor is swept, the candles are lit, and the ancestors are honored before anyone steps inside. But we live in a time when people want the door open without doing the work. They want the blessings without the obligations. They want the spirits without the service. They want the power without the protocol. And they want it fast, faster than elders can speak, faster than their ancestors can whisper, faster than their own character can develop. Technology has made information immediate, but it has not made people ready. And that is where the tension lies, because AI can summarize a tradition, but it cannot initiate you into one. A search engine can list the names of spirits, but it cannot introduce you to them. Social media posts can show you an altar, but it cannot teach you the discipline required to tend to it. A trending sound can mimic a chant, but it cannot carry the breath of the lineage that birthed it. And so we must ask, how do we preserve our traditions in a world that confuses visibility with understanding? How do we teach in a world that confuses access with entitlement? How do we honor the ancestors in a world that confuses information with initiation? The answer is simple, but not easy. We return to protocol. We return to respect. We return to relationship, community. We return to the understanding that ATR traditions are living nations, not open source files. And in our traditions, learning begins with listening. Not listening to respond, not listening to debate, not listening to prove what you already think you know, but listening to receive, listening to elders, listening to the land, listening to the spirits, and listening to the silence between the words. In our traditions, teachings begins with accountability, not the accountability of punishment, but the accountability of care, the accountability of knowing that what you say shapes how others approach the spirits, the accountabilities of knowing that your voice carries the weight of your lineage, the accountability of knowing that you are not just teaching information, you are teaching behavior, ethics, and responsibility. And preservation? Preservation begins with boundaries, not walls. Boundaries. Boundaries that protect what is sacred. Boundaries that honor what is earned. Boundaries that remind the world that ATR traditions are not public property. Boundaries that say, you may learn, but you must learn correctly. You may very well approach, but you must approach respectfully. And you may be curious, but you must not be careless. Because carelessness is the real danger of the digital age. Not technology itself, not AI, not search engines, not social media, but the carelessness that comes when people believe that information is the same as initiation, that access is the same as authority, that visibility is the same thing as value. Our traditions have always been adaptive. They have always evolved. They have always found ways to survive in lands, new languages, new political realities. They have always been dynamic, creative, and resilient, but they have never been one to abandon protocol. We have never abandoned respect. We have never abandoned the understanding that the sacred must be approached with humility. So in this modern world, we do not reject technology. We contextualize it. We do not fear AI. We outthink it. We do not run from the internet. We teach people how to navigate it with discernment. We do not silence curiosity. We shape it. We do not deny access. We guide it. Because the future of ATR traditions will not be determined by the speed of information. It will be determined by the quality of character. It will be determined by the strength of community. It will be determined by the integrity of teachers and the humility of students. It will be determined by our ability to hold the sacred steady while the world spins faster and faster around us. And so as I draw to conclude for today, I say this to every seeker, every student, every practitioner, every teacher, every elder, and every ancestor listening. We are the bridge between the old world and the new. We are the guardians of traditions that have survived everything, We are the stewards of knowledge that cannot be Googled. We are the protectors of protocols that cannot be digitized. We are the living proof that ATR traditions are not relics. They are nations. They are alive. They are breathing. They are evolving. And they are watching how we carry them into the future. So let us carry them with honor. Let us teach with integrity. Beloved co-hosts, let us learn with humility. Let us preserve with courage. And as you please begin to unmute your mics and come in, let us remember that no matter how advanced technology becomes, no matter how loud the world gets, no matter how entitled the landscape feels, the spirits still move at the speed of respect. And respect is a language that will never go out of style. AYIBOBO, Bilolo, Asheo, and by all means, no matter what you do, respect the voodoo.
Respect the voodoo. Good night, good evening.
Yeah, respect the voodoo. Yeah.
Say it with your chest, Divine Prince.
Yeah. Yeah, please. Good night, brothers and sisters.
Yes,
Can I chime in? Can I chime in? Everyone, you know I love you all in the collective audience. But as Divine Prince was playing one of the vignettes, whatever they are called, and it was dealing with the Egunguns. I want to make a quick comparison with the Egunguns and the Mardi Gras Indians. Each one of those Egungun come from its own shrine. It's not like their next door neighbors. One might live in one town, one live in another town. And they come out on Voodoo Day and they show off their wear. They prostrate toward each other. They show their costumes. Their costumes are hand woven. You can't go to Temu. You can't go to Amazon and buy those costumes. Just like you cannot go and get a Mardi Gras Indian. These costumes are hand woven. Information is being passed down from teacher to student. Like Brother Joshua said last week, when you saw him, he might stick his hand. There's blood in the suit. It is the same thing with doing the Egungun suit. The same thing. And that's humility to set under another person to be taught a tradition. And I believe that capitalize what Divine Prince is saying tonight. Humble ourselves. Let's learn. The old way is there to bridge with the new. And there are teachers to make that connection. And that's what I wanted to add.
Well said.
Very well said. Respect the voodoo.
Yes.
Good evening, everyone.
I was saying the same thing. I was thinking about the same thing. It is good that you guys brought that topic up tonight, because you do see a lot of that nowadays. Nowadays, a lot of people are turning to Google, Google or just anything like search engine and stuff to find out information about whatever they need to find out. And that is okay. But a lot of times Google and all like different sites and stuff don't really teach you authentic, like the authentic of it, or deep down what your elders and your ancestors or anyone like older generation that is practicing this that can teach us. Because I can go to Google and search up a couple of things and do like a report and practice the stuff myself, but it won't feel real. It won't feel authentic, and it will still feel like you're still missing a lot of information, versus if I was to go to a community that have a lot of elders or a lot of people who are practitioners and people who has been practicing this for a while and have been passed down in generations and stuff. And sometimes just sitting around with them, you can learn a lot from your elders versus just always on Google. There's a little piece of information, but like you were saying, sometimes it's always best to go back to the old ways, back to what has been taught and passed down to us.
You are
Yes.
being
And
respectful.
what I seem to find on social media, because I'm on TikTok a lot, and the ATRs is in my algorithm. A lot of these younger people get an attitude when you ask them a question and stuff. You know, when you question them, because I do that a lot. Sometimes I just feel like being, you know, up in there and see what they're gonna say. And they have attitudes like, I know what I'm doing, you can't tell me nothing. So, but yeah, it's very interesting. I just watch a lot of it. What about you, Brother Tyson?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think, one of the things the Divine Prince said is just being, we're to be a bridge between the technology and the old ways. I think that, take YouTube, for instance. Divine Prince has been on YouTube for years preaching this same topic. But it's like, I just, I'll speak from my experience, so that way, it doesn't come off like I'm just giving a blanket answer. Even when I was searching and when I was looking for answers and looking for guides, I personally was looking, what books can I read? What information can I get? And then you're always subject to whatever narrative that author is trying to put out there and so forth. And then you got to research the author and see where they get their stuff from and who are they. And usually it's a lot of times, you get a lot of authors that speak from something, but they ain't from where they're speaking from sometimes. And so I had to go, me personally, my path, it took me to New Orleans. It took me going and visiting Divine Prince, visiting Elder Reggie, visiting, Joshua and LaSource, and becoming a part of the community for me to truly understand even the simple things that I was learning. YouTube will have you thinking it's easy to just, cook a dish or build a house or, do something that you're seeing somebody do in a short amount of time. But it took years for that person to build those skills and build those muscle memories in order to perform whatever task. Sometimes you could watch somebody build a house from scratch on YouTube, and in 30 minutes they could build it. In a 30-minute episode, you could see somebody build a house, but you don't know what screws they're using, what all the different things that they know as carpenters in order to make it happen. And then things are sped up, and is not in real time. So you're missing out on all the nuances that come with spending time in community. And that's with any religion or any path or any organization of conscious thought. You have to spend time with that community and with those people who are elders who can teach you. And if you're humble and respectful, you'll learn, and the path will be opened up for you. So I agree what Divine Prince is talking about now. But I do think that with that, this platform is a great opportunity, because we're giving insight, giving instruction, but not revealing things that need to be spoken inside the house, if you would. You know what I mean? Like, we're not exposing things that need to be a one-on-one student teacher mentor relationship type things with. So I love the subject and I love the topic.
Yeah, I know, like my first time, I think was like my first time experiencing, like when I really wanted to get into understanding besides the internet. It was many years ago. The first shop I visited was the Voodoo Spiritual Temple with Priestess Miriam. And I know a lot of you guys probably might know her. I call her Sister Miriam, but I know it's Priestess Miriam at the Voodoo Spiritual Temple.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I had went to she had like a speaking thing, an event or something that she was hosting there. And I went there so many years ago, and I think that is what like made me wanted to understand and learn more to actually hear it from her, because you're so used to seeing things on TV and the internet and stuff, that when I went there physically, in person, it warmed my heart, because she's such a, she's an elder, older lady that is still carrying on and teaching us and being able to speak and still have all this stuff. Like, she teaches all the history from when she first started to where she at now. And I remember when she brought everyone to the back, she was just like, hey, don't just go taking pictures. Don't just go taking pictures of the altar. Don't just go taking pictures of this. You need to ask. And people ask questions like why we can't take pictures and all that stuff. But it's good that she educate people, because a lot of people come in just feeling like they could just take pictures of altars or just put anything on altars or take from altars, not really knowing the histories and the background and how things are private, not things that you could just post on social medias without getting the without getting, without asking, and then it could come off as disrespect. So that was my first encounter as far as being involved in person and learning about it versus going to the internet.
I'm gonna call it the moon landing effect. We have the technology to fly to the moon and get there, but you can't step out of that shuttle and just walk around like you want to, or any way you want to. It'll take your breath away, and you won't be living any longer. And I mean, that's how it is with spirit. Spirit has its own relationship that you kind of have to be respectful of. And we're not discouraging people to search for information, but you got to be careful, and you also got to be respectful, and got to be mindful, and you got to be humble, because spirit is not going to move when you want it to move. I mean, so many different spiritual systems talk about that. You got to move when it's time, or when you're in alignment. And yeah, that's all I got to say about it.
Well said. Well said.
If I could chime in right quick, last year at Nova 25, we had scholars in. These scholars are babalawos, they medicine men, whatever title you want to give them. But they also college professors. Some of them write books. And so what I am trying to say, they take the practical, they add education with it, they bring humbleness with it, and they bring apprenticeship to it. And that's all we are asking. And I didn't want to overstep people who practice hoodoo. Of course, I come through hoodoo myself, but there's a point where you have to step your game up if you want to continue into the ATRs. And with that do come apprenticeships. In the New Orleans area, as Divine Prince, 4 of the panelists, he give credit and he give accommodation to ASEAN Home Phone, where you can become a student, a member, and even get initiated to learn some things. And that is the true message we're trying to put out. Just humble yourself, get under some tutelage, and move forward. Because it, as Brother Joshua said, it could get dangerous if you're working with spirits and not knowing what you're doing.
Yeah. And I'm convinced that some of this evil we got in this country and in this world right now is because somebody done let loose something messing around with something they didn't know about. I am thoroughly convinced that that is the case. But our show has come to an end. I want to turn it over to Divine Prince to thank everybody in our other platforms. And then Elder Reggie will give us the announcements. Divine Prince.
And certainly we're always thankful and appreciative for those who do listen and participate from a social media platform near you or by way of our QR code at the top right corner of your screen. Certainly my Facebook page, group, and profile, Sister Toni's Facebook profile and group, Elder Reggie's Facebook page and profile for Shrine of the White Cloth, as well as Brother Joshua. I'm not sure Bianca's on in social media much. LinkedIn, we certainly appreciate you. YouTube, thank you so much for your listenership and participation. Twitter X, thank you for your participation and listenership. I do see you. And certainly we're always thankful for those who listen and check in from Instagram. GPie8, thank you so much for coming through. Cheyenne, the Empress, we certainly appreciate you. 0555, thank you for coming through. Joel Fernandez, thank you so much for coming through. Leon 3RR, thank you so much for coming through. Helson 42, we appreciate you. Marcy Marceau, we certainly appreciate you for coming through. Young Lucas joined. Magic Fingers, we certainly appreciate you. Just Lana joined. And A. Marie Fodonola, greetings and salutations to you and yours. Love my New Orleans. And as always, I invite you all to continue to join us 9 p.m. Monday through Friday, weeknights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on a social media platform near you or by way of the QR code, which is displayed at the top right corner of your screen. Thank you kindly. Remember, all is a blessing. And I now pass the mic to Elder Reggie.
Thank you, Divine Prince. Become part of something extraordinary. New Orleans International Voodoo Day is not just an event, it's a movement that celebrates culture, fosters education, and connects people from around the globe. It's carnival time in New Orleans. February the 16th is Fat Tuesday, also known as Mardi Gras. Please come and visit the events. Our new moon ritual prayer and application ceremony will occur on the new moon Sunday coming, January the 18th at 6:30 p.m. in the Zodiac of Capricorn. That location is 710 Clewitt Street. We call it the Clewitt Gardens. It's a ritual spiritual warfare gathering. We have a large selection and variety of Santa Muerte statuaries available at the Island of Salvation, Botanica. That address is 2372 St. Claude Avenue in New Orleans. Mention Nova Podcast. I share with that. Lest we forget, the spiritual medicine of voodoo brings healing and relief from the shackles of slavery that binds the master and the slave to the same chain of social division. With that, I say once again, what a powerful show. Ashe, ashe, ashe. Good night, everyone. We love you all, and we'll be back tomorrow night with more information.
Ashe.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Odabo. Peace and blessings.
Allow me to show you something.
They say I'm crazy and that might be true. I got this white in my DNA, yet I'm coming for you. It's time we turn the tables, flip these motherfuckers on you. I wanna see you hanging from trees. It's time you pay for your dirt and your shit. You created the monster, you created the beast. Now all this savagery you just gon' reap. I'm coming home, daddy, to the plantation, and I'm taking the lives of everybody, including the children, on some Nat Turner. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. I met my girl Harriet at the gate. If you wanna know how she doing, yeah, she's straight, but she had one question: when we gon' get up? All that talking tough, yeah, we don't walk it tough. She got it locked and loaded, got that piece up on her side. She looked me in my eyes and said, "Meet you ready to ride?" Moving forward, you gotta use both eyes. Watch your front and watch your back. Keep your hands up on your gas. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. He sit at the table, but he don't order no bacon. He greet me in those words, assalamu alaikum. Got them glasses on his face and them waves in his head. He go by the name of Detroit Red. He looks me in my eye and says, "You only get one try. Know that your biggest opposition will come from the inside. I know you wanna love them all, but don't even try, because they'll smile up in your face while plotting your demise." Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. Do you hear that sound? It's about to go down. Unleash the beast, we about to tear this motherfucker down. We are the children of the ancestors that weren't punked.